see a lot of support. We have an executive committee, and we have a number of tracks we work on, and there are different chapters of SEMAT. So we have, just look at it, this is just Mario, Richard, and myself in the advisory board. We are happy to find other members, and I'm more than happy to step out as soon as it really takes on by itself. We have, these guys are advisors to us, these signatories. We have, these are customers, Saab, Ericsson, ABB, and so on. Microsoft, IBM, Chalmers, SIX, and many other, Peking University, KAIST in Korea. It's a whole impressive list of people. More than 1,600 supporters. And we have 3 tracks now, language, kernel, and practice. But there will be many other tracks, because this is, what we are doing right now is just the beginning of SEMAT. It's just creating the foundation to be able to do SEMAT. And we have 2 chapters currently. They mean basically the same organization, but it's local. One in China and one in Latin America. Antonio is from Peru and is a member of the executive committee in Latin America. So if you want, you can ask him later, why the heck did you do it? Anyway, we have 2 other chapters now underway. Sorry, we have one in Korea. Today, they actually have a meeting to form the executive committee. Another chapter in South Africa, and that is supposed to start in February. And then we are talking about the chapter in India, the chapter in Iberia, which is Spain, Portugal. Are we going to have a chapter in Sweden? Well, we see how you think about it. Someone has to take. Okay, I have to finish this up. The way we work is a community. So some part of the work we want to have a standard, because it has to go through the standardization process and get the stamp of being a standard. But most of the work we are doing will be where we can have conflicting, we can have 2 competing alternatives, and we don't need to take a decision which one won. The one wins if it gets more attendance and so on. You can participate in this work on different levels. You can just follow it, or you can become part of the story and support the SEMAT activities. So, summary. We will work as a community, an open community. There is no one taking decisions. All decisions are moved to standardization forums. We will just agree, we do this. The group agrees, we do this, and so on. And if the group is not in agreement, it can split, and then 2 groups. And then the world will see which we like the most. So, basically, welcome to the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions to Ivar? Otherwise, may I ask the SEMAT members to step on the floor, and you could ask questions to, well, all of us. Yeah.
Maybe we should introduce the other members here too,
yeah, sure.
who are here now for you. Before you run away, you could, we have Shihong Wang here. Shihong is Chinese, but she is a professor in software engineering in Florida Atlantic University. And she's actually here in Sweden, or will be here in Sweden, on her sabbatical to work with Ericsson and Mälardalens University on SEMAT. So it will spread. And Bruce McIsaac is responsible for RMC within IBM, and a lot of other things.
Also co-leader of the Eclipse process framework.
The co-leader of the
Eclipse process
framework. Eclipse process framework. And the good thing is that we have maybe have different ambitions and different goals, but we have a lot of things in common. So we have found our common ground between us too. And then it's Antonio and Paul, yeah, from Peru, which I met actually when we formed the SEMAT chapter in Peru in August. It was not in Peru, it was actually in Colombia, but it's Latin America. And it's a huge interest in that part of the world, as well as in China. And so then we have Professor Michael. This is the second Michael professor, but the last name is Gödicke. And you are, as I understand it, the leader of a work that Michael Strid is doing. So Michael is actually keeping his eye on everything we do in the language. So trust it, it will be very professionally done. So you should, we got that?
No?
No, we have Brian. No, Brian is speaking already.
Brian has been already presented. Okay, any questions to any of us?
A question to Brian. You're researching. When I looked at your presentation, I got the impression that when you match Scrum to SEMAT. Yes. When you match SEMAT to Scrum, I get the impression that this is a really good way to explain how a company could transfer to using the core competencies. And I wonder, what are the next steps in this? Is my opinion something you share? It's that this is a good way to teach about it.
Yes.
You just keep it close.
Oh, perfectly. Okay, yes, that's a good comment. So, as mentioned by Ivar Jakobsen, we're now working on a proposal for a standard. And we're going to submit that on the 22nd of February. And one important part that we have been discussing during the 2-3 days that we are here is that we need to actually define several more examples to explain the benefits and the value proposition of our approach. So, yeah, I think we have a lot of work to be before us and in defining more examples.
Yes, I mean, just that we fill in quickly. I mean, Scrum has its value, but everyone knows that Scrum is not everything. You may need more. And the value in having this Scrum defined on a common framework is that now you can compose Scrum with, for instance, whatever, user story, which is done many other times, but feature-driven development, or use cases, or whatever. And so that is, and you can compose it with another thing like enterprise architecture, other practices that may be needed. So that is something we can do, but now all that has to be done manually, or by some organization that we do it. I mean, manually, of course, it's manually, but I mean, it has to be done by the one who wants it. Now we get this foundation, so everyone can just take it.
Any more questions? Yeah.
Okay, it's a very general question, because this is about software engineering. And then you can think about other more traditional engineering disciplines. And then you wonder, do they suffer from the same kind of illnesses that this discipline is doing? And if not, why not? So how should we really look at software engineering as a mature discipline? Is this confusion just a sign that we're still in the medieval times? We don't have any good understanding of what this is really all about. Or is it because the area, the domain, is so unique that it differs completely from all other engineering disciplines? So we're advanced as much as we can advance, but we are encountering challenges that no other engineering discipline has encountered. So it's not a specific detail, but rather about the context, about how to understand the need for this kind of initiative.
Yeah, may I comment on this? I think this is a very valid observation that we are in a concert of other engineering disciplines as well. But I think there are some specific differences between like mechanical engineering or electrical engineering on the one side and software engineering on the other side. If you look at these traditional engineering disciplines, first of all, they deal with materials, like concrete in civil engineering, like electrical phenomena in like current and voltage and stuff like that. So it's and you study these things. And in software engineering, we don't have this kind of foundation. We don't have a good good deal or good grip on what is actually the material we are speaking about. And SEMAT is to a great deal to fix this, to find out what is the actual material. So all the talking about the alphas and stuff like that is, it's much about process, but it's also implicitly deals with what are the actual, what is the bits and pieces we are dealing with, and how they can be forged or whatever to come up with the solution a customer wants. So in some respect there is a difference.